On this Friday at the All England Club, they're arriving for the gentlemen's semifinals. The last four men standing includes one of England's own, Tim Henman. But first up, Andre Agassi and Patrick Rafter, a past Wimbledon champ and last year's finalist, will meet for the third consecutive year in the semifinals. Here they come on to center court for the third consecutive year to meet in the semifinals. They have truly produced some spectacular tennis, and there's every reason to anticipate today we will see more. Andre Agassi, the 1992 Wimbledon champ, and Patrick Rafter, the man who had Pete Sampras on the ropes here in last year's final. And we welcome you to our coverage of the gentlemen's semifinals from Wimbledon on NBC with John McEnroe, Ted Robinson. Well, John, this is something Andre Agassi has made a habit of this 5 times to the Wimbledon semis, but with Pete Sampras out, does he look at this as if it's my best chance?
I think he does. And last year, I just hope they can come up with something close to what they did last year, because I keep repeating this, but it's worth it. That to me, it was the best center court match I'd seen in the 25 years that I've come here. And let's hope the rubber match just lives up to something even close to that billing.
Andre Agassi, there are the 5 trips to the semifinals.
Can we cut out that top part there, the 92 one? I don't know what happened there.
Well, actually, Andre today is the oldest semifinalist since you in 1992.
And that's a long couple of years. See, he still physically looks great, and 31 to 33. Well, he took care of me in a hurry, that's for sure.
And the coin flip to determine the initial game.
And the other thing that I say a lot is that to Agassi's credit is as a matchup on the men's side, because you got these serve volleyers like Rafter, like Ivanisevic, like Henman, because he's willing to stand at the baseline and trade shots with these big hitters. It makes for great stuff that you don't see when Pete was winning all those times, when he's beating the Ivanisevic of this world. So he's really single-handedly, to me, gotten people back on their minds back on the men's game. When it started a couple years ago, but when he won the French Open and rejuvenated his career at so late an age for a tennis player, the late 20s, 29 years of age, he's not only inspired a lot of players, the older players, that they can hang in there, but I think he's brought a life back to the game. And now you're starting to see these younger players start to flourish, not here at the end, but start to flourish and show some personality, and that's exactly what the sport needs.
Well, it is 2 Wimbledon veterans here, though. Agassi and Patrick Rafter, the finalist last year, up a set at 4-1 in the second set tiebreak before falling to Pete Sampras. Patrick Rafter is talking, John, very prominently like this could be his last trip to Wimbledon.
And number one, I'm surprised that he's saying that at a relatively young age. I worry about his shoulder, to be honest. And we see that twice he's gone to the U.S. Open and won it there. He was so close to getting up 2-0 on Sampras last year. He seemed to run out of gas and allow Sampras to break the all-time record. But to me, the way he plays on this surface, for him to walk away, it'd be a great story. I mean, Agassi's, funnily enough, is the most boring of the stories, and if he wins it. I mean, he got Henman, of course. It's been 65 years for an English player. Goran, well, he's come back from the dead, and now Rafter, who's talking about never having won the tournament, and maybe calling it a day this year. Well, that would be some way to go out.
Well, 2 years ago, Agassi won in straight sets. Last year, a 5-set win for Patrick Rafter. A 3rd straight gentlemen's semifinal coming up at Wimbledon. This is a day where it sort of tests your mind at the All England Club. Andre Agassi and Patrick Rafter, 2 of the greats in contemporary men's tennis, are playing. And, John, this is the warm-up match in England today.
They can't wait for old Tim Henman to get on the court and see if he can win this title. It's been so long for England. There's Agassi, 31 years of age, physically fit. Matter of fact, more physically fit than he's ever been. He's had an excellent year. I mean, he came down under, won the Australian Open, beat Rafter in a 5-set match where Rafter cramped in the heat. So this helps Rafter, actually, that it's cooled off, and and reigned here last night. Peter Wessels gave him some problems, but Agassi came right out and started playing some great stuff. Delgado, Massou, you can't stay back with Agassi and expect to win. Kiefer tried the same. He failed. Escudé, well, he looked good for a couple sets, but eventually, as he does so often, Agassi wears his opponent down.
Indeed, Patrick Rafter now at 28, the familiar hair gone as a result of that cramping matter that he suffered at the Australian Open.
Well, it's incredible that he actually went to the doctor, docked some doctors down under in Australia. You see, it's a good semifinals. He hasn't had a lot of great results this year. He hasn't won a tournament for a while. It's been over a year since he's won a tournament. And they said that he actually sweats twice as much as the average player on the tour. Vacek didn't make him sweat a whole lot. Dozadel, he's a dangerous player. God gave him something to think about. Arazi, you always got to love to watch him play. Yuzny is a guy that to watch out for, the young Russian. He's a good player. Enquist, you're not going to win quarterfinal matches, Ted, when you serve 18% first serves for the match. 18%.
It's unbelievable. Well, here's the flip side, John. Throughout his 5 matches, for the total of his 5 matches, Patrick Rafter is serving 71%. That's extraordinary, Wimbledon. And how crucial could that be, playing the greatest returner in Agassi?
Exactly right. That's what he's going to need to do, obviously, and we've chronicled these matches often enough. Agassi pretty dominating 2 years ago. Incredible match last year, that 5-setter, best I'd seen.
And remember that, as John just mentioned, at the Australian this year, Rafter was up 2-1 before the cramping got him, and Agassi came back to win in 5. Remember, John, that last year the story of Patrick Rafter's Wimbledon was how much ammunition he would have in that right shoulder that had been surgically repaired at the end of '99, and Rafter himself said, I don't know how many bullets I have left. Well, this year he says he's serving better, as that number of 71% would indicate.
Well, he's also backed us. He's got some more speed. He lost some speed on his serve. Which is why I wonder why he'd take time off. You might as well just shoot all the bullets out of the gun, right? And then when your shoulder gives out on you, well, there's a time to maybe throw in the towel, not when you're still feeling good. But now that I say that, that sounds a little cold, doesn't it? You know, blow out your shoulder and then just keep going till you've had your... What was that guy, that Denver Bronco guy, Mark Shermeth? Or he had like 30 operations. A linesman for the Broncos.
Schlereth.
I mean, I'm not advocating that. Thankfully, he retired.
But I think from your standpoint as a former player, you're saying don't leave anything behind, right? Play as long as you can.
And if he seems to be healthy, I mean, why quit now?
Game, Rafter. A good start with the ace for Rafter.
First game.
Well, Agassi started out the year just storming. I mean, went down under, won the Australian Open, defended that title. Then he stepped on the court at Indian Wells. That's a big hard court event. So is Miami. He won both of those. It was the dirt, the clay courts that got him. And even then, it looked like things were promising until Grosjean Clinton arrived in the center court and Roland Garros. And after a great start, Agassi faded away, which he doesn't do very often anymore. Very seldomly.
Andres developed a severe case of amnesia regarding that match.
He refuses to admit that he saw Clinton come in, and that does not want to discuss it. Has made that clear to anyone that's who's asked or who's asking. What asking him? That's it. Come on, that was only took me 4 times. Agassi knows that's going to happen.
30
Rafter's
love.
going to make him hit passing shots. Agassi's one of the greatest players that I've ever seen, coming right out of the gate and smoking winners.
40 love.
His warm-up must be something that a young player would want to emulate. Because right, he does. He starts a match as well as anyone I've ever seen.
And his hour is like 2 hours, and I think that's one reason why Andy Roddick, who's worked with him, is sort of his training partner, has really benefited from that. I mean, I remember in Davis Cup it started. I mean, Andre steps out in the court, the second ball he's going for you. He give you a couple bruises.
Game Agassi.
Well, there's an easy service game for Andre at 1-all.
1 game.
You know, the year for Patrick Rafter, falling in the semis at the Australian to Agassi, and then 2 other semifinals.
He took some time off, tried to recharge the batteries after his Davis Cup. Goes to Bermuda, where it's very low key. That's the way he likes it. They actually went down to Brazil and beat Brazil. Leighton Hewitt beat Kierton in Florianopolis on clay. Rafter actually went to the French, where he played another Australian, Wayne Arthurs, had match points in the 4th set and faded, and actually, like he's admitted with Sampras, choked, lost the 4th set, and then went away in the 5th. Agassi serves hit a lot harder than 108 miles per hour, and if you're not going to place it well, the world's greatest returner is going to hit shots like that.
Love 40.
Agassi just looking to get the ball low. You know how hard he can hit it, but he also can flick shots. He just comes up with angles you dream of.
There's a vintage return game from Agassi in the first break of the match. Andre Agassi and Patrick Rafter, something of a rarity in the men's game today. These are 2 veterans who have played each other frequently, and Andre spoke yesterday about the upcoming matchup with Rafter.
Pat's one heck of a player, one heck of a competitor, so it's going to be a great match like it always is when we play. You know, he plays the game so differently than I do that it brings it really shows people just how many different shots there are to play in this sport, and it's a great thing. I mean, it's always a memory, and certainly one I'm looking forward to.
Well, twice this year, Andre has come out the victor, but I would imagine as high quality as the tennis was, John, there was no solace for Andre in that Rafter prevailed in the 5th set here last year.
He did collect his 7th Grand Slam title down in Australia earlier this year. That'll make him feel better.
15 love.
He bageled, which is 6-0 Rafter in Miami. Rafter did come back to make a match of it, but there was another case watching that match where he ran out of gas in the heat. That's good, quick recognition that Rafter was off balance. So Agassi tries to come in. He doesn't do that too often, but he's a good volleyer. He's gotten more juice on his serve the last couple years.
$40 love.
And Andre, who's struggled on serve in his first set of his quarterfinal match, come out here. He's won his first 7 points on his serve.
Well, I think some of that was when the reality sunk in that Sampras was out. All of a sudden, he was the favorite to win this tournament. Got a little tight. Escudé played some great tennis. Let's not forget, he came out, broke Escudé early. I mean, he came right out, did the same thing he did here. And it was Escudé who fought back, won the first set, but he broke him down eventually.
Game Agassi.
And Andre loses 1 point here, but holds for 3-1 in the first set.
Agassi leads 3 games.
Tomorrow, Venus Williams goes for her second straight ladies singles title. Chris Everett analyzes Venus's chances at wimbledon.nbcsports.com, plus post-match player interviews on the Wimbledon channel, all at wimbledon.nbcsports.com. So a typical Agassi streak.
Let's for serve.
Andre's win in the quarterfinals here tied him with John McEnroe for 5th on the all-time list of wins in Grand Slams.
That's an excellent effort from both players. Rafter improvising.
15 love.
Agassi showing that hustle that's helped him win 4 majors in the last couple of years. He just couldn't get it away from Patrick. I mean, it's not as easy as it looks, believe me.
15 all.
Rafter trying to get some more pace on the serve. He's trying to hit into the body, but Agassi just moves to the side. He's got such a short backswing. He's one of the few guys that can pull that off consistently. Same thing. It's a good play by Rafter. Go right back and do the same thing again.
30-15.
Is Rafter, John, would you say, is he holding back just a little bit to get the first serves in?
I don't think so.
He's letting it go?
No, I think he's he doesn't serve, Ted, as hard as some of the other players that we see. What he does do is volley better. Him and Tim Henman, to me, are the 2 best volleys around. But if he wants to get to the finals again, these are the type of volleys he's going to have to make.
Rafter himself, talk about a man that John McEnroe would love. He says, I'm not crazy about playing on grass. My kick serve is less effective. And he says, I got to the finals last year by just plain attacking the net.
30-40.
This is exactly what he was talking about. See, it's a kick serve. It doesn't have the slice that a Sampras has got, so Agassi does have a shot at it.
Deuce.
There he flattens it out. That's the biggest serve he's hit today. Tossed in and won at 118 miles per hour.
So Rafter, John, shows, and his point being that although Andre will stay back and do well here, he says the serve and volley style still works. I proved it last year.
When didn't he know that? I'm amazed that he didn't recognize that the first time he ever stepped on a grass court. Growing up in Australia with all the history of champions that they've had over the years. They do have a lot of grass courts there as well. They used to play the Australian Open until 1985. They played on grass, and they switched over to a hard court surface in '87. That's a year I would have won it, '86, but they didn't have it then. There's the feel from Agassi. On the full run. This is another thing that's a lot easier said than done. Rafter thinks he's in good position here, but Agassi just Working away. Not giving Rafter the same look twice. So his ball toss is too far to his left to kick it up, so he can't spin it out the way Pete Sampras does. Todd Martin, who utilizes that height at 6'6". Already we're seeing Agassi controlling the majority of the points, especially when the second serve comes in. See, once again, that ball kicks up. Agassi's very strong in the upper body. You can just muscle it down to Rafter's feet.
So everything you're talking about with Rafter's serve might be the reason why his 2 championships have both been on the hard courts in New York.
Ball skids through more.
Game
He's even
Agassi.
staying back, already in the first set.
So Agassi with a second break. On the final Sunday here last year, it looked like Patrick Rafter might stop Pete Sampras' march at history. He was up a set. He was up 4-1 in the second set tiebreak before falling to Sampras in 4 sets. And he reflects now about his reaction to that.
Oh, I had a couple of beers. I was over it in about 2 hours. Yeah, you know, what can you do? It wasn't my time. That's all you can say. And I don't take those sort of things too hard. You know, this is life and it's a tennis match, and put in perspective, and you get over things pretty quickly.
But as so many champion tennis players are able to do, John, Rafter's admitted, he said, I couldn't control my nerves.
That's part of why he sweats so much too. The nerves. I mean, he gets and he cramps up, and when he cramped up in Australia, you really did start worrying about him. Agassi really, because Agassi was hurting a bit too. I mean, that was extremely hot conditions.
Let's first serve.
Fortunately for Rafter, it's not nearly as hot here. It's been unusually hot at Wimbledon. The bad news is that Agassi's just come storming out of the gate.
It is humid again today, but not nearly as warm, and very little sun. And lest you think that we've been rain-free, we had
15 love.
absolute torrential downpour last night. Perfectly timed for play on center court.
There was some rain Wednesday night, some rain last night, a couple drops here and there, but incredibly lucky so far. Maybe that'll get Rafter going.
15 all.
I'm not sure I'd recommend him trading ground strokes with Agassi, but once he sees Agassi off court, he scoots in. A backhand volley a la Stefan Edberg. Best in the business. Yeah, the same story, just not enough on it. Gave Agassi the time to assess his options.
30-15.
Here he comes. See, Agassi's already ready. It's a clinic in getting yourself prepared. Picture perfect.
$40-15.
7 times Wimbledon champion. Now just sits in the players. Well, she's not actually in the players box, is she?
Realize tomorrow will be 2 years from her last match. It's hard to believe how time goes.
Game Agassi.
Time's going fast in this match so far. Already 5-1.
Big
Agassi
Graf played her
leads
final
5 games
match
to 1.
against Lindsay Davenport in the ladies finals in 1999. While Andre Agassi marches on at an age where many of his peers are gone and playing, as he says, the best tennis he's ever played.
Embarrassingly one-sided so far.
Love 15.
Rafter must be getting sick of seeing this.
Rafter has served 20 points, 1-8.
All.
Brad Gilbert, as you see, Rafter's his first serve percentage still fairly high. Second serve getting killed. Brad Gilbert, Andre Agassi's longtime coach, has been very clear, saying if you put the Andre Agassi of 5-6 years ago against today's Andre Agassi, today's wins easily.
15-30.
He's got some good practice. He's got Steffi out, you know, he can still go out and practice with.
All.
Now they're reporting in the British papers and TV that Steffi's pregnant, Ted. Now if that's true, okay, and I suspect that Agassi may be asked about this. If that's true, that would be the, you imagine the pressure on that poor little boy or girl? Would there be some pretty good tennis genes there?
40-30.
He'll probably hold the racket, you know.
One-handed backhand, though, or two-hand?
No.
Game Rafter. New balls
A Rafter with a hold, and he'll force Agassi to serve for the first set.
Agassi leads.
Rolex, the official time at Wimbledon, just 22 minutes in this first set. And Andre Agassi will serve forward at 5-2. This late tennis life renaissance, more accurately, for Andre Agassi at age 31, trying to add a 5th Grand Slam championship in just the last 2 years.
I mean, that's absolutely phenomenal. Starting with French Open, that was the miracle of all miracles. The way he came back from 2 points away from beating Clement. A set and 2 breaks against Moya. 2 sets to love against, what's his name again? Does he still play? Medvedev?
30 love.
And think of this, Andre is 31. There's only one man in the history of the Open era who's ever won 2 Grand Slam championships in the same year at age 30 or over. And that was Rod Laver in his Grand Slam year.
Well, you don't want to run all that way, get there, and really have a makeable shot and dump it in the middle of the net.
40 love.
See how much ground Rafter's covering. He's way off the court there. Now he comes running all the way back to this end. He's there. And he's got to watch him brick that forehand. Three set points for Agassi.
Just
Game and
dominant and surprising. 24 minutes, all Andre Agassi needs to take the first set. Defending champ, Venus Williams. She'll go for 2 in a row.
And Andre told me in the locker room right before the match that if we slow mode Justine's backhand, that it actually wasn't technically quite as proficient as I've been making it out.
Second sets.
That she actually pulls back a little bit on it. He couldn't be a little jealous. I mean, but then we both agreed, come on. The girl's only 5'6". What does she weigh? 110, 115 pounds. It is an amazing shot.
I think if Andre asked Jennifer Capriati today, Jennifer would say there was nothing wrong with it.
Because I've called it the most technically sound and beautiful looking. So, but we should do that. Perfect. The match tomorrow. Let's take him up on his offer. Maybe we can get him in here to, on his day off, to talk
30
about it. He loves to analyze players' shots.
Well, here's what you could ask him, because there are those veteran tennis watchers that are unbelievably comparing Hennen's backhand to Gustavo Kuerten's.
Maybe in terms of the power they generate with those skinny bodies.
40 love.
Guga gets that elbow out a lot more. But the end result is the same. They just cream it. It's the timing.
Now Rafter hoping to generate one of these rapid momentum changes that we've seen through the fortnight. Easy game on his serve to start the second set.
No, Rafter's not serving quite as well as he's been serving in the tournament, and he's paid for it big time because Agassi has returned so well. I mean, 13 winners, 1 error, and 67% first serves.
It's as good as it gets, isn't it?
It's vintage Agassi. It really is. Can he keep it up? At least Rafter can think to himself, hey, he did this at the French. He played unbelievable stuff the first set, and he cooled off.
And we saw on this very court yesterday, Capriati do the same thing to Hennen in the first set.
It looked like it was going to be over in 45 minutes. I mean, you've got to expect Rafter to make a few runs here. Surface we were on for a second, so Rafter finally came in. Well, the crowd's going to applaud it now because they're not going to see rallies like that later. Henman plays Ivan Izevich.
Rallies?
Not with Goran. Ready for it that time.
15-30.
He had that backhand overhead lined up. To me, that's such a tough shot, especially if you've got a bad shoulder. Tried to generate enough pace here. He did try to hit it too hard. Big difference between 15-30 and love 40. Well-played point. Don't tell me Agassi's not a thinker out there. Just look at this shot right here. Just kept composed, got it nice and low, but Rafter did the same thing. Rafter's definitely picked up his game. Finally, he's got himself a break point.
He looks like Rafter again. And his first break chance.
It's in. I thought it was going to go long, but no such luck.
30-40.
Looks like it's going to go wide, but Agassi knows full well when he hit it. was not going to go wide. I don't think he meant to hit it quite that close to the line. That's a good return against Andre.
Rafter.
So the break for Rafter. And the early edge in the second set.
Rafter
Today's
leads
athletic
2 games
trivia
to love,
question, the
second
last
set.
man other than Pete Sampras to reach consecutive Wimbledon finals. Answer shortly.
It's the first time you've seen Andre Agassi indecisive. He's at that ball where he could have easily come in. He hesitated and stayed extremely low. I love the slice backhand, even a forehand sometimes on this surface. The court's worn down. There's going to be some bad hops. Oh boy, missed that.
Love
With
15.
this fortnight, John, as warm as it's been, as dry as it's been, will the court play differently than a normal Wimbledon, if I can use that phrase?
Well, the court should be firmer, and so that means the ball should bounce higher, which makes it tougher to pull off that shot. But it could not rain here 60 days in a row. And he missed that too. 2 points he should have won. And if you hit a slice backhand, it's still going to stay low.
Remarkably clean play so far from Agassi.
15.
But
30.
Rafter has the break in hand in the second set, and that's his 5th ace.
There he did get enough slice and placed it. The key for him is placing the ball.
30 all.
That's his best bolt today, 120 miles an hour. But it is a good lesson, John. You don't have to be a Taylor Dent or an Andy Roddick and serving at 135 miles an hour to be effective here.
Tony Roach, who's worked with Pat a long time. He's a great player in his own right. He had some great volleys. He coached Yvonne Lendl. He actually
30, 40.
was the coach of a team tennis team when Chris Evert played. And actually Chris said because of working with Tony, she came over to Wimbledon and won Wimbledon for the first time. And this is the type of guy you want around. That's why he's been around so long. Plenty of players would like to have him as a coach.
Oh, big serve there, saves a break point. Well, Rafter says he
Deuce.
respects Tony Roach like a father, and they work well together. He says Roach keeps things very simple, keeps my mind clear.
First time that I ever played Queens, which is the warm-up to Wimbledon. I just turned
Advantage
professional,
Agassi.
reached the final, and I play this old man by the name of Tony Roach.
No kidding.
And I thought, okay, there's no way I can lose to this guy. Well, you know what happened, right? I think that was the last tournament he ever won.
Deuce. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a mobile telephone with you, please make sure it is switched off. Thank you very much.
Rafter's definitely serving as hard as he served the entire match. Right now, he's juiced up from that break. He's gotten himself out of trouble with some surprisingly shaky volley for him, but
Advantage
big
Rafter.
serving.
And back to the point we're making, he's not a bomber here, but he's still effective 7 aces.
Well, he's still getting it 115, 120 when he needs to. That's pretty fast on grass, believe me.
Game.
Well, he saves a couple of break points. holds, does Rafter for 3 low. The Athletic Trivia question, the last man other than Pete Sampras to reach consecutive Wimbledon finals.
Boom.
Survey
Boom.
says,
Boom.
there you go.
Boom, boom.
4 years in a row. And the first 3 of those years, he met the same man. It was Becker and Edberg. So as amazing as this seems for us to have Agassi and Rafter meet 3 straight years in the semis. Those 2 men, Becker and Edberg, 3 straight finals here. 2 of them won by Edberg.
Edberg played a very, very similar game to Rafter, actually.
$15 left.
And our man Leo Levin, we got to throw his name in once. He made a great point that the advantage of the kick serve is that you do get into net more quickly. That's the good news. The bad news is you may need, these days with guys like Agassi, you have to wear a bulletproof vest. See, guys didn't return in the 80s, 70s, 80s the way they do now. I mean, that's the other part that people forget about is, yes, the players serve harder with the equipment, but they also return a lot harder.
Is that why we see more breaks even in many men's matches now than you did?
Absolutely right. And in the women's, they're hit. They obviously, you watch someone as small as Hennon, 5'6", hit the ball hard. They're hitting the ball harder than ever, but they're not serving that big, so there's breaks all the time. That's why it's so fun to watch women's matches.
Well, the Capriati-Serena Williams match was astonishing. 14 breaks of serve in that match. The quarterfinals.
I can assure you that neither one of those ladies wanted to serve by the middle of the second set.
$40-30.
I like it. He doesn't go through that tennis foolishness of saying, sorry, mate.
No, let's not kid each other.
Rafter leads.
Well, tomorrow, what a day on NBC. We have breakfast at Wimbledon, the ladies' finals, and then NASCAR comes to NBC at 3 Eastern. A special in-depth look at the second half of the NASCAR season. Then prime time tomorrow night, the Pepsi 400, 7:30 Eastern. Jeff Gordon looking for his 4th championship in Daytona.
Is he winning races this year? I mean, has he won any? I don't know.
Jeff Gordon, he is the series points leader.
Is he? All right.
Now, if I know that, that's scary.
He offered to take me for a ride. I'm going to take him up on an offer. I saw him last year. Just come take a little ride around one of those tracks. That would be.
I can just see it now. The new Chris Economaki. Let's go down to the pits and Johnny Mack.
That's one sport where the beat. I can yell as loud as I want. You still won't be able to hear me. There's Agassi trying to get back on track, get back on serve. First step, get that return low.
Agassi had 2 break points in Rafter's last service game. Sun making its first real appearance of the day.
See, that's where you make that extra effort. So you get the ball up a little bit higher, so you can hit it as hard as Agassi does. He combines some power with this shot, with some spin to make sure it stays in the court. It's just a simple flick of the wrist, right? We'll go out in the court and try that. See how often it goes in. soundbite, though, both players, about how you see so many different strokes when these two fellas play. This time Agassi tries the topspin lob, but we've seen that a few times, and this time Rafter puts away that backhand overhead. Nice to see the sun still around because the forecast not sounding so great.
Players probably not sure how to handle this. There have been very few delays. What a point.
I can't believe he tried that again.
Well, that point brings back memories of last year's match.
30 all.
I mean, it's getting there. The excitement's growing. Level of play on the rise. Rafter's starting to play some excellent tennis. You know, Agassi came out of the gate storming. 5-setter would be nice. Another one for the rubber match.
40-30.
Make the British fans wait a while before Henman takes the court.
The 8th ace already for Rafter. You know, you think about that, Henman and Ivanisevic are probably the only two men in the locker room right now. Maybe a few doubles players in and
Don't
out.
forget those old guys. 35, 45 doubles. Dropped in.
Boy, Rafter comes back there from love 30 to hold for 4-1.
Rafter leads 4 games to 1. 7 sets. First sets of Agassi.
Well, there's Tim Henman out for a little pre-match jog.
That's the run, so he doesn't have to sign too much. Let him practice. Keep his mind on the match. But he's such a nice man. He stops and signs that signature. But this is where he's got to hustle in. So
I was trying to pair him up with this big serving lefty to get him ready for the match today, but you said you weren't interested, huh?
you know, the funny thing is he actually asked me to practice with him. Came to his senses overnight. Called up our buddy Barry Cowan, who's got a pretty big serve. I didn't want to have to serve against him from the service line. He said it was because he wanted to practice earlier. I've never liked that shot. A drop shot off the serve.
I should also mention that the men's semifinal between Henman and Ivanisevic will be seen today on TNT.
Well, I want to point out too that I was available had I not been doing the match for the English TV here, the Capriati Hennon. I was looking forward to it. I was revving up, trying to loosen it up. Concerned though that I'd be bad luck if he lost. So I'm actually glad he bagged me. What an angle. So often over the years, Agassi has just come up with shots that you only dream about.
A little war paint now for Rafter. Sun coming out during the second set.
Game Agassi.
And Agassi holds. Well, one of America's great summer traditions continues tomorrow. Breakfast at Wimbledon. Live at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific, as Venus Williams goes for her second straight Wimbledon championship against 19-year-old Justine Henin.
you hear when Andre's stepping it up a gear, trying to
15 love.
sneak this one by Rafter. Easy put away for Patrick there.
Let's for serve.
Andre must be sensing it. Listen, I don't want to give this guy hope.
Well, he's got hope already, but what he wants to do is keep him working. Even if he loses a set, make him work hard, because you see he's sweating away, Rafter. It has gotten warmer the last couple minutes. It's sun breaking out. It's still humid, not as hot as it's been, but probably between 75 and 80 degrees.
14 love.
Rafter's problems been diagnosed that he simply loses more through perspiration than he can replace with fluid intake. When he's trying to drink as much as he can during a match to prevent those problems. Figured if he cut his hair, maybe that would help alleviate that problem, although medically there's no basis for that.
I hadn't heard that one.
$40-15.
Showed no waiver on his service game here. And Rafter at 5-2 in the second. Finally, a moment that many men in America can identify with Andre. Bill Norris, the veteran ATP trainer, out to provide Andre with some sunblock. We've all been there.
That's right.
And Steffi Graf getting a chuckle.
Now, not a lot of men are confident enough to allow that to happen in public. Well done, Andre. Another point where it's great to watch Agassi duke it out with these serve volleys.
Oh, the angle, and it dropped on the line.
It's the angle, and also Rafter, you can see he was thinking the lob was coming. Agassi held it just a little bit of extra time. Didn't have to hit it hard. After learning from the master there.
30-15.
He takes it nice and early. He just blocks it back, gets an angle of his own. I mean, this is great tennis. I mean, this second set is now like it was last year.
Second ace for Agassi. And again, the word variety is what you love to see.
Game.
Big
Agassi.
service game there, so now Agassi will see if he can summon up the ability to break as Rafter serves for the set.
Rafter leads 5 games to 3.
First of 2 gentlemen's semifinals, and this is outside court 1 on the Orangi hillside, where a huge television screen has been erected. Now, this is all within the grounds of the All England Club. You need to have a grounds pass to be in here.
Here's a first.
Yeah. That's court 13. They put up a second television screen. And of course, all of this to allow the Tim Henman match to be viewed by as many spectators as possible. I guess that Barami-LeConte doubles match isn't gripping their attention.
Well, I beg to differ. The place, it was 8 o'clock last night. It was 80% full, the stadium, for Barami-LeConte doubles. Don't dog those guys unnecessarily.
John was very proud of that.
Love 15.
Two partners that have been searching because you've left them both to be a commentator
yeah,
during Wimbledon.
That's right.
And they found each other.
That's too much of a good thing, though. Circus arrived. There is why that serve into the body is so effective. Should I hit a forehand? Should I hit a backhand? Whoops. Well, at least he got it back. Oh! Now he's putting more on that second serve, though. That kicked up nastily here. Watch how tough this is for Agassi. This is not like it was early in the match. And better placement as well.
40-15.
And now the ace, so Rafter to double set point.
Game and second.
Well, we are level. Just the way it always seems to be. Rafter and Agassi, one set apiece. "56 minutes in, the official Rolex time of this semifinal match, and now one set apiece. The third consecutive year for Agassi and Rafter. 2 years ago, Andre won in straight sets, but the first two sets extremely close. 7-5 in the first, a tiebreak in the second.
But 2 years ago, Ted, he didn't really believe in himself on the grass courts for whatever reason. I don't know.
Rafter.
This is Rafter. And I think it cost him against Agassi. But finally getting to the semis gave him the confidence the next year when they came back for the rematch that Rafter played the best match he'd ever played at Wimbledon. Fantastic five-set affair. He did succumb to Pete Sampras. Let Sampras break the all-time Grand Slam record of 13.
And interestingly, they've actually had an earlier meeting at Wimbledon. They met, Agassi and Rafter, in the third round here in 1993. And it was Patrick Rafter, a qualifier. Patrick Rafter was an extremely late bloomer in the tennis world, and he qualified for the 1993 main draw at Wimbledon. Lost to Agassi here on center court in the third round, and that's really when John Newcomb and Tony Roach took him in under their wings and said, "Okay, we'll work with you and help develop you."
And by the way, you could be a great grass court player. I mean, you've got the perfect game for it. It puts a smile on your face. This is the center court at Wimbledon. This is a grass court. I mean, you're not supposed to have points like this.
30-15.
I like what Agassi's doing, though. He gets right back. I mean, he does play quickly anyway, but he comes right back. He says, "I'm fit as a fiddle. I've never been fitter. I'm going to wear you down. We're going to play another tough point."
40-15.
So you've played 4 points in this game. 3 of them grass court points. Agassi's won those. And
Right.
one long rally Rafter won.
Take a little luck.
40,
See, if you aim for the middle of the court and you catch it late, he's trying to hit sort of a doubles return here. Catches it late, it's even better than he would have or could have hoped for.
So Agassi holds in the first game of the third set.
First game, third set.
After 2 sets, see Rafter still serving the same percentage. Agassi incredible there and still playing tip-top stuff. It's just Rafter's really picked up his game.
Played 2 sets and make 5 unforced errors. If you're Andre, you're saying, how did I lose one? Well, this guy was that good. Never a top junior in Australia was Rafter, unlike Andre Agassi, who burst onto the scene as a teenager. Unlike even Leighton Hewitt, the Aussie that arrived very early. Rafter was never that way.
15 love.
But at age 19 was when he finally grew to his present height, filled out.
Let's first serve.
You mentioned 93, where she finished at 57 in the world. It took him a while to finally get over the hump. I mean, he moved up the following year and 21 in the world, won his first tournament on grass, still didn't produce at Wimbledon. Then he really had 2 mediocre years, 68, 62. It was 97 when he won the US Open. Backed it up where he finished number 2, number 4 for 2 years. Now he's sort of dropped to last 2 years, 16 and 15. Yet despite that, the Wimbledon committee seated him number 3 here.
Patrick was the biggest beneficiary of that. Wimbledon still using grass court rankings and information to alter the seeds. And Raptors proved them right.
Well, they came up with a compromise. They'll make 32 seeds instead of 16. They'll take the first 32, then they can tinker with those 32. And that's true of all the tournaments. I wonder if the US Open, for example, will do that, or they will just
There will be 32 seeds, but you're saying, will they tinker?
Will they tinker? This is, once again, what Agassi wants. He wants to get the ball to Rafter's feet. He wants to have time to hit a passing shot.
(40-30).
I think you'll see Andre start to move over to the left on that second serve because Patrick doesn't slice it out wide as well. And he's hitting that kick so well on the deuce court right now. And that's what you got to love with Agassi. He gives you different looks, and you know sooner rather than later he's going to start changing things up.
Deuce.
There's Agassi, the thinker again. And he saw that he was out of position. He didn't try to go for too much. As a matter of fact, he just floated the ball back deep into the center of the court. Get himself back in position. Rafter with an easy miss.
Back to deuce. Andre got a better return on that, but Rafter's still there.
I think he lost it for a split second in the sun because he hesitated, but it looked like, whoa, that's farther away than I thought it was going to be. He made the quick adjustment. Absolutely nothing Rafter could have done better there. This was a world-class volley. With some pace, Agassi still puts it away.
Advantage Rafter.
Yep, there was the kick serve again. Agassi scrambling. Rafter is close to the baseline, putting away that overhead. Good news for Agassi is he is making Rafter work awfully hard right now. May pay off later in this match.
Game Rafter.
Again, Rafter pushed, but doesn't break. So it's 1-all, third set.
One game all, third set.
Bud Collins has an analysis of today's men's semifinals, and Chris Everett looks at tomorrow's ladies' final right now at wimbledon.nbcsports.com. You think Justine Henin can bang out here with Venus tomorrow?
I didn't think she could do it yesterday. She did. I don't think she can do it tomorrow, but stranger things have happened. She did beat Williams the one time they played. That was on play. It will definitely be worth watching.
Love 15.
Agassi had nothing on this ball, which allowed Rafter to take a little extra time, see that he was behind the baseline. Hit that cute little drop shot.
Well, before yesterday, the only notable win over a top player in Justine Henin's career was this match against Venus Williams on clay.
She blew her off the court.
And of course, Henin put a major win on her resume yesterday, and she'll get a shot at Venus Williams tomorrow.
You know, in her story, her mom passed away when she was about 13 years old. She's totally estranged from the dad. Dad apparently, took all the money. You know, one of those stories. A kid at 18 had her just walk away, and finally, she had no money to her name, and she turned 18 just a little over a year ago. She's tough as nails. And you saw that in that second and third set yesterday with Capriati.
Everyone has dreams. Her dream, Justine Henin's, when she used to talk with her mother before her mother passed away, was to play for the championship of Roland Garros. And she had that chance a month ago. It got away from her, and now she'll play a month later, center court Wimbledon. Folks, a new dream.
Yeah, it's not a bad dream either. Should have had that point. Let Agassi off the hook. This was the shot that should have given Patrick a break point, but just didn't spin it away. Agassi just keeps plugging away, working hard. You know, when Agassi used to have his own plane and everything, he didn't think he'd be one of these workman-like players. living the high life the way he did, the big spender. His attitude is not that way anymore. And he's the only guy I've ever known that actually grew up in Vegas, so right away it makes him a great character.
Advantage Agassi.
A very talented writer for the San Francisco Chronicle, Scott Ostler, early this year made an amazing analogy. He called Andre the reverse Elvis. He said as a teenager he was lost in Las Vegas, rudderless, out of shape, and now he's the dangerous wolf.
Poor Elvis.
Game Agassi.
So Agassi and Rafter on serve to start the third set.
The players are ready. Thank you.
Center court Wimbledon on what's becoming again a warm Friday afternoon. One set apiece, and Rafter serving at 1-2 in the third.
Another example of a low return, but a good volley. Agassi with these rock solid ground strokes and passing shots, finding an angle. How does he keep doing it? That's the way to take someone's power.
15-all.
Agassi puts some zip on this pass. Watch what Rafter does. Just takes Agassi's power and just plops it over the net for a winner. Easy as pie.
Let's for serve.
What a get by Agassi.
And on top of everything else, he tries harder than he's ever done in the past. It's a point he could have easily been out of. But sticks the racket out. Rafter knows if he can just get over his head, but he can't.
And this, by today's tennis standards, is an old player. 31 moving like that.
30-all.
Can you ever recall in your time in the game a player that got better as he got older, as Andre has?
I don't know any player. I mean, he's really a first as far as I can think. I mean, Laver won a slam at 30, but he was better earlier when he won the first of two.
Of course, Connors played longer than just about anybody, but
Connors won a couple, did win a slam at 30 and was about 30 here, but I don't think he was better than he was in his earlier days.
40-30.
I mean, what he's done, though, is inspired guys, and these are guys that are not in the same league, but a Wayne Arthurs, who's a top 40 player now. I mean, he was nowhere to be found a couple of years ago. He's better at 30 than he's ever been.
Game Rafter.
You know that household name, Gianluca Pazzi? Better than ever at 36.
Third set.
the senior player on the men's tour right now.
Actually, he peaked last year, so he's going down now again.
Andre frustrated right now, not able to break through on Rafter's serve.
15 love.
That point was Andre the Puppeteer running
30
Rafter all around.
Agassi apologized, but Rafter said, look, you don't have to apologize. That last shot shouldn't have gone in anyway, so it's okay. I didn't really deserve it.
But there are times when you watch Andre and it appears he jerks this string, I want you to move this way. And he pulls the other string, I want you to move that way.
It's only when you got these huge bombers, when Sampras plays at the top of his game, or even Izovic, that he doesn't seem like he's dictating play, which is true. Every other time he is. I've never seen a guy from the baseline make him work harder.
40.
His game may go off like it did against Grosjean at the French. Physically, he might be fatigued from previous matches that have led him to that point, but he's always making you run a lot more.
Game Agassi.
So Agassi with a hold, still on serve, third set. Center court Wimbledon, it's a set apiece, on serve in the third. To the British, John, this may be the undercard, but right now they're getting extraordinary tennis once again.
It's lived up to it, thankfully. I mean, Agassi did play some great stuff early, Ted, but Rafter's really picked things up, and it's such an entertaining encounter when these two guys get out there, and who knows? I mean, I still like Agassi. I think that he's making Patrick work a lot harder, and I get the feeling that he's going to get to him.
Is this warm enough now that it's going to be a problem for Rafter?
I think it is. I mean, I'm surprised that it's heated up again. I should have known to expect the unexpected.
Picked a bad trip to forget my bathing suit and sunblock, didn't I?
Right. Normally, that's not an issue here. Well, he sticks the hat on. See if that'll help him.
Love 15.
Yeah, we should commend our crew during this fortnight for their outstanding
Let's
work.
commend them.
John
yes.
McGinnis, Dick Klein, our producers, Andy Rosenberg, our director. All of our friends from Britain who work on our crew, both at Roland Garros and here at Wimbledon. Well, just getting to this point has been a stretch for Andre to get to 15-30.
And that was a gimme there, a gift. Rafter tightening up.
Let's first serve.
I just hope he doesn't tighten up too much, because I hate to see him start cramping again. No more Matsuokas.
30 all.
He was up 2-1 against Agassi down under. Started cramping up and was quickly dispatched in 5.
And in that same Australian Open this year,
40.
and note that has not been lost here, Rafter completely destroyed Henman. He played in the 16s.
We have a break point here. Agassi said he did on match point against Goran when he did win his first and only Wimbledon. It was like, just hit this return. Something good's going to happen. Rafter able to get back to deuce.
Advantage Agassi.
Well, Rafter's hit far more aces, but also now 6 doubles. And gives Agassi a second break point. Brad Gilbert. Very quiet. That time, something good did happen when Agassi returned.
That was a weak game from Rafter. Agassi made him pay
Agassi
big time.
4 games to
second
2
serve.
third sets.
Well, we've seen this return before, right at the feet. Some loose volley, and this cost him a break. We've seen him hit topspin lobs. We've seen the angles. Rafter, he can't possibly do this now. Well, that's exactly what he did to rip a winner up the line.
And now the part of Andre we spoke about during his quarterfinal match when he gets an opponent down. One of the best finishers. He's got him down in the set.
That's the hardest serve he's hit today. It's a part of his game you forget about now. You don't talk about. He's actually served a lot better the last couple of years.
Is that the upper body strength, weightlifting? Is that going to put miles an hour on your serve?
I've tried it. Didn't work for me, but it seems to work for him.
Second serve.
Then again, my trainers didn't look like Gil Reyes, his buddy, who's taken such good care of him for so many years.
40-15.
This is a sort of a minor moral victory because he's down a break. He's down 40-love in this game. Things are looking bleak for Rafter in this set.
Game Agassi.
So Agassi now 1 game from taking the 3rd set. All right, this is the ultimate flashback, right? Take a look at that. That's Andre Agassi today. And here comes Andre Agassi 9 years ago.
With all the hair.
Look at that. Can you believe it? 9 years ago? Agassi, Goran, the amazing 5th set. And inconceivable that after losing twice in the French finals that this would have been the one that Andre would win first.
He didn't even play for a couple of years here because he didn't think he could win it.
And then, John, would you say that's Sampras's best match here?
I think it is. He's talked about it. Definitely the best match he's played here against such a great champion. Now we see the results starting to pile up here, too.
Still, though, even though we mentioned he's tied you in overall Grand Slam match wins, not yet at Wimbledon. So you won 59 matches here.
He's going to blow by me, and it looks like he's going to blow by me today.
59-11 was your record here.
Here's the money that you asked for.
Thank you. The players are
How much did that cost me?
$15 love.
Well, Rafter continuing a high ace count. That's 13.
$30 love.
Rafter's first serve percentage, though, has fallen in this match, 58%. He's got 3 in a row in here.
40 love.
It's natural. He started pressing. I mean, remember, in coming in, he was 71%. But he's playing the greatest returner that has ever lived.
Game Rafter. New balls, please.
So it is 5-3. Agassi now to serve for the 3rd set. Tomorrow morning, breakfast at Wimbledon begins 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific. Up with the sun in California now to watch Venus Williams try for her 2nd consecutive Wimbledon championship. And her foe, a first-timer, Justine Henin, the 19-year-old Belgian who yesterday ended Jennifer Capriati's dreams. Agassi armed with a new weapon, now ready to serve for the 3rd set.
Oh, lost his footing, lose the point. Rafter saw him down and out. Made this back in a whole lot easier to hit. You know what's also amazing about Andre? The guy never gets rubs, he never stretches. He's getting older. I mean, you're supposed to get stiffer and tighter. I don't get that. I also don't get why Rafter tried to run around that backhand. He could have chipped charged. Badly missed his forehand. I mean, he's not as good a ground stroker as Agassi. He wasn't going to hit a winner from that position.
$30-15.
No
40-15.
hope once Agassi got that one break.
He's serving so well. When he's winning easy points on his serve, I mean, puts so much pressure on you when you have to try to hold your own.
Set point. And it's done easily. One break is all, and Agassi made it stand up, and he has a 2-1 lead in the semifinals. We're enjoying these memory lane trips so much we thought we'd take you a little further back down memory lane. The same 1992 championship
Oh, no.
year, though. How about this? The semifinals.
That was it. My knee hurts. See ya. Knee problems.
33-year-old John McEnroe. One more run at Wimbledon, but
I try to go into the body. I just don't have the zip old Goran's got.
and Andre with the straight set win. Did you know as you walked off here that this would be your last match at Wimbledon?
No, I actually had told myself that if I was able to somehow, some way sneak out a major title, that I was going to continue playing. But I lost in the semis there. My last shot was the U.S. Open. And it was Jim Courier put me out.
Fourth sets.
I said enough's enough.
Rafter
Enough
to
losing
serve.
to these young bucks. Well, it turns out these guys have had pretty good careers, right? Courier, Sampras, Agassi.
Yeah, you didn't exactly lose to slouches.
15
The
love.
funny thing is I thought it was a great draw playing Agassi then in the semis.
Ivanisevic and Sampras, right? Was the other semi?
That's right. Goran won that match. I can beat him in that 5-setter.
30
Do you
love.
wish you had been able to? I mean, you did it last year, obviously, when there was the celebration here of champions. But that match, do you wish you'd been able to wave to the crowd and say goodbye, like Becker did?
No, I'm not quite a sentimentalist, Boris. It's okay. You know, you get your butt whipped. Get off, it's okay. Get off the court.
Forty love.
A little cloud cover is taking the sun out of play for now.
There's a rarity, an easy game for Rafter.
The best news for the players is that on a day when rain was all over the forecast, it does not appear to be in play at
First
all.
game, fourth set.
Now, of course, as we look at the match update stats, it's Agassi who's continuing to excel at such a high level, it should be pointed out. I mean, this is an excellent tennis match. Probably later in the day. You see when gentleman Tim gets out there, that's when there'll be a couple stop starts just to keep anyone from relaxing. That ball's going to float long.
I'm so amazed at the composure
15 love.
and being here, John, last year for the first time and watching Rafter and Sampras deal with that in the finals. I believe it were 3 stop starts with such pressure in the match, so much at stake.
Let's first serve.
But also, you're so happy to be in Wimbledon final. That's a tennis player's dream. You just come here, Ted, the last year for the first. I mean, feel this. I mean, it's just so nice to be here. It's a great tennis stadium.
Pete Sampras
13
has called Wimbledon the Super Bowl of tennis. It's hard to argue that.
And the people are so close, and that atmosphere is second to none. And it gets so darn quiet here sometimes.
There are nearly 14,000 people on this court.
40 love.
And I continue to reflect on my initial impression last year, which, as you mentioned, the incredible quiet, no public address system, no music between points.
No ushers looking for tips.
Just tennis.
40-15. Game Agassi.
Oh, it is 1-all in the 4th set.
One game,
hour
all
and
full
38
sets.
minutes.
Pretty brisk pace, though, for 3 sets. And a little over an hour and a half.
The Rolex official time at Wimbledon.
15 love.
Patrick Rafter, the 7th of 9 children from a mining town in Queensland, Australia.
13.
Their brothers played tennis. One of them travels with Patrick, serves as his aide and manager. His name is Peter, and Peter said, "I quit tennis when Patrick beat me for the first time."
Now there's an older brother talking.
He said, "I was 15, Patrick was 12. I was so mad I smashed 2 rackets."
40 love.
Last year when he played in his first Wimbledon final, his parents made the trip.
Game Rafter.
And we're on serve to start the 4th set.
Rafter leads.
NBC's coverage of the championships Wimbledon continuing with the gentlemen's semifinal. Andre Agassi up 2 sets to 1 on Patrick Rafter. Last year the score was reversed. Rafter had the lead. Agassi had to win the 4th set. Did. Rafter took the 5th.
15 love.
One thing I noticed when I wore a hat, which is was to show people that or at least not show people I was losing my hair, which Rafter doesn't have to worry about. Ball floats long on Agassi. He's actually kept heat inside my head. So for Patrick's sake, I'm happy that he's taking it off.
15 all.
His head in their little breathing room, as they say.
The hat and the headband both gone.
Thirty, 15.
Agassi, not even 6 feet tall, gets a Todd Martin-like angle.
Let's for serve.
The point you raised earlier, John, really shows here
40-15.
more than normal. It seems like Agassi's getting points on the serve, easy points.
Especially even the second serve.
Ouch. 40-30.
Went in for that sharp angle and just missed it. Mentioned the second serve. Agassi is winning 3/4 of the points on his second serve.
So I'm not advocating missing your first serve, even though he's won more on his second than first. There's another one. That's lazy footwork.
I was going to say, is that if you're Rafter, do you say, that's poor play on my part? That he's winning that many points on his second serve?
No, but I think he's a little defensive. I mean, I expected more of the chip charge routine, which is slice the ball and get into net. He knows, as any serve volleyer does, and a guy who likes to attack, you're going to get past. You're going to see some balls go by, especially when you're playing a guy as great as Agassi. But sooner or later, the law of averages start coming around your way. Here comes the hat again. I'd actually like to see him chip the ball and attack and do it, sometimes hit it short.
15 love.
This is the serve that he keeps going for, which is that kick out the middle. I think Agassi will be just hesitant, unsure of what to do in that on that play. Oh. Or he could be. I mean, it's worth a shot, right?
You said chip short. Why would Rafter want to chip short?
The ball stays low. Agassi's he's expecting a deeper ball, you see. So that's just, it's an element of surprise. He's not used to playing passing shot from that position.
30-15.
The one thing you try to do as someone who passes so well is get him thinking a little bit. I mean, just get him out of his groove.
This time he goes wide.
Then you follow it up with one that's deeper. Then you flatten one out. Then you hit one with some spin out wide. Don't give Agassi the same look.
30 all.
Got careless at one break in the third set. And this is careless for him now. He'll afford to miss volleys like this.
Let's first serve.
It's a phenomenal performance from Agassi so far. You got to take your hat off to him. He's played extremely well right from the first set. First shots in the entire match he's overran and maybe gotten a little tighter.
Boy, that
40-30.
I think everyone's mind was worrying together that he's going to hit this and it's going to be break point.
Rafter had clipped the line. Agassi with a rare. You have to call that an unforced error.
Let's first serve.
Bullet coming at Rafter. Just really steps into it, musters up tons of energy. Rafter's no position to recover.
Advantage, Rafter. Game, Rafter.
And Rafter holds for 3-2 in the fourth. Center Court, Wimbledon on NBC. Andre Agassi and Patrick Rafter, their third consecutive year to meet in the semifinals. Every bit as competitive a match as would have been anticipated.
Thank you. The players are ready.
Two sets to one. Agassi on serve in the fourth.
Agassi not happy with the call.
Love 15.
This is the ball he thought was well wide. It was awful close. tough for these poor linesmen to make those
Please.
tight calls.
Let me get on my point again with you. The linesman on that line has sunglasses on.
That's right. I mean, if players thought for 1 second, Ted, that they would see the ball better, they would wear sunglasses themselves. So that should tell you something right there.
15
So, for example, if a baseball player walked up to home plate with a bat, and the home plate umpire had sunglasses on, he'd reach in there and take them off himself.
Don't think these guys aren't tempted. It is incredibly annoying when they wear those shades.
30 all.
Rafter's incredibly annoying. That was such an opportunity for him at love 30. Just dumped that backhand. I don't know why he's not being more aggressive here.
Let first serve.
Maybe physically he's starting to feel it. He just doesn't have the legs that he thinks he needs. And Agassi has had a tremendous day with his passing shots. In a way.
And now Agassi again pleading to the same linesman.
Same problem, same shot. I'm glad that Rafter's staying back. It certainly makes, as a fan, it more entertaining. Let's see if we, well, that one can give us another angle. It did look like it was floating while Andre got in the way. I think that was the problem. He got in the way.
Exactly. He may have blocked the view.
Let's see if we have another look from this side. Well, I don't know. It did look like it was going wide, but here's Rafter with the chance at break point.
That's out. So Rafter gets the break in the 4th set.
Rafter leads.
That's too bad, though.
Full set.
A couple of tough calls for Agassi, especially that second one. And he's got to put that all behind him. Boy, it is tough to do, isn't it? As
What
I
about
think
you get-
back to all the
Yeah.
matches.
But as you get older, does it get easier or tougher?
Sometimes
through
you
that.
ask me questions that are just, you know, based on the question you're asking is pretty ridiculous, Ted, for me.
15 love.
I'm the wrong guy to ask. Let's see if we can look between the racket and up there. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's, you guys are getting there. Just one other angle. We'll be all right. But I do appreciate you asking those questions, Ted. It makes me feel
15
better.
all.
Well, if Andre can get a break here, that would answer it.
If he doesn't get a break, he may have a few things to say to Mike Morrissey, the umpire.
Twenty aces now for Rafter.
Send it into the body.
30 all.
Agassi so good with that short swing of just stepping ever so slightly to the side. Ripping another return winner. Rafter with the second wind.
40-30.
Rafter serving beautifully in this set. And now you start to think, for a second year in a row, could they go 5?
Rafter leads 5 games.
Don't move into a more difficult line.
I've got a much better chance on that line.
I don't care about you. You're not worried about it. It's him I'm worried about. If he misses slow ones, how's he going to call the serve?
Well, it's much better there.
You've got plenty of people. Get rid of them.
I can't take it off the board.
No, of course not.
Not like that. No.
Of course not. How many does he have to miss before you say get him off? 2 more? In the 5th set? Is that what you're waiting for?
No, I'm not waiting for that. I just don't have any other line up guys like either.
Want me to find one for you?
Time.
See now, Ted, you're talking to a guy with experience with dealing with tough calls. Sometimes I know what I'm talking about.
Well, Andre Agassi went right to Mike Morrissey and let it be known he did not at all care for those calls, and Mike Morrissey immediately moved that linesman into the middle. He's going to call the service line.
And I can tell you that's still annoying. You know, as Andre said, get him out of here. Got plenty of spares. First thing here, at least hold serve, put some pressure back on Rafter. Don't lose concentration totally. That's why you have to pull it back. Otherwise, Rafter will serve for in the first game of the 5th.
Love 30.
Which with no breaks could be a factor. Just a little less difficult to serve first than it is to have to keep coming from behind.
The very thing we saw with Sampras in his match with Federer. Federer served first in the 5th.
And that's just an angry looking swing there. Just I'm going for it all. Serious run here. 2 points to level this match.
15-40.
It would be only fitting if we had another 5-setter. It's 3rd year in the row these two have played in the semis. Another classic in the making. You think that was deliberate? Oh, that's funny.
Now, what did I tell you about a player? Hit the first serve and then come back and win the point in the second serve.
30-40.
I was just trying to get it, hit an ace.
It's out.
4 sets. Rafter. 6 games.
And Mike Morrissey immediately tells Andre, don't look at me for help on that one. It's out. And for the 2nd straight year, a 5th set in the men's semi after a bathroom break for Patrick Rafter.
Well, we are back here, folks. Center court, Wimbledon. Here we go. 5th set. Agassi, Rafter.
Final sets.
Another highly entertaining match between these two great grass court players.
Thank you. Quiet,
Let's see what they can
please.
cook up here in the 5th set.
Please.
Rafter to serve first.
15
He's
love.
got that serve working up the middle. That's 21 aces for Patrick Rafter. Agassi, poor Andre. Well, he's okay.
15 all.
He's doing all right. And he follows that up immediately with double fault number 7. You hate that as a player, Ted, to toss in an ace and then next point give your opponent a freebie, especially when he hits a return like that. So it started out so promising, it's suddenly becoming trickier. He does not have the hook of some of those other big-time servers. Agassi does just enough with that return.
At only 5'11", is there anything Andre can do to counter the high kick?
Well, he's so good up top. I mean, he's so strong. You know, those pumping those irons and using 2 hands. He doesn't have a lot of problem. I mean, Rafter's done better because he's placed it better and put more on it. I would have thought, he hasn't done it yet, that he would have sort of leaned more towards the middle of the court. But then you can see Rafter's capable of hitting pretty good serve. I mean, that was a lot better than the one at 15 all.
Deuce.
Too cute there. So that's his body weight stopped. He just doesn't have any momentum moving. Everything was too still. If your body's just standing still like that, at least show that racket finishes through the ball.
Advantage, Agassi.
Well, this huge for Agassi.
And you did see Agassi move over there. He saw it coming. Rafter with the really, really unfortunate double fault to give Andre a break point. What a momentum breaker for him if he were to lose serve here. Just clipped the top of the tape.
Deuce.
That's too bad.
And that's how you win Wimbledon, right? With second serves like that.
That's what Pete did 7 times. Rafter still trying to win his first Wimbledon. Agassi's the only guy still left that has won 1. I think they should change the rule. And you can't do that because you could do this indefinitely. Remember that infamous match, Agassi-Kuchera?
Andre will certainly remember it, although that second serve he had no trouble with.
So this is the problem with Rafter again. I mean, he's adequate going out wide, but he's not great. For Agassi, you see he steps forward, he cuts off that angle. And he can do this all day. Over the low part of the net, playing it nice and safe.
Agassi had slipped, but Rafter's volley short.
You would have thought he would have learned.
First game, final sets.
He'd done that earlier in the game, but again he tries to drop volley, and again it fails him. All the more annoying to see your opponent on the ground as it goes in the net.
What a shift. Rafter after winning the 4th. And obviously feeling all right. We saw him taking another drink out of the bottle, but John, the fact that he had to go to the bathroom after the fourth set is actually a good sign. It means that he's not dehydrating.
It's an unusual time to do it, though, when you have so much momentum on your side. He's definitely shot now.
Yes, Agassi took advantage, and now he'll hope to do to Rafter what Rafter did to him in last year's fifth set.
Well, I've advocated him being more aggressive. He tried to be here. Agassi with this pinpoint accuracy. That's a killer, though, Ted, to lose your serve first game of the fifth set. This is going to be extremely difficult for Rafter to overcome. Agassi with the same problem Rafter did that last game, not just slicing it out wide enough. Rafter stepping in and almost like a doubles return, and he's played some doubles over the years. That's ball. That floats well long.
40-15.
Almost. Acrobatics from Agassi.
40-30.
He's usually very solid with that backhand overhead. He's, to me, got one of the best backhand overheads I've ever seen. He's got himself a little off balance. It cost him the point. Still a point for 2-love in the fifth. That is lucky there, but he'll take it. But when you try as hard as Agassi's done in this match, that's when good things happen. A lot of players were not even attempting to run down that ball.
To love final sets.
And the soft, how soft those nets are.
This is the softest net of all the Grand Slams. They have to take those posts out, I guess, from the grass course and remove them so often because of the rain.
So Agassi out 2-love in the fifth. Last year's fifth set, it was Andre's serve that cost him in crucial times.
You got? Sort out.
Searching
short a couple balls.
Tennis balls.
Here you go. One fella's got all of them. Give Rafter a little time to regroup. This is un-Rafter-like, this fifth set so far.
Love 15.
This very loose play is costing him big time. Yes, it's the fifth set, but we've only been on the court 2 hours, 12 minutes. Yes, it's hot, but it's not as hot. You feel like Rafter got that second win, but now is really struggling. Desperate times for Patrick.
15-30.
Straight sets 2 years ago, and then the decisive game in the 5th set last year was Agassi serving at 2-3. They double faulted on break point. Rafter went on to win. Now Agassi with a break in the first game of this set, and a break here could be lethal.
Yes, and you see Rafter staying back on the second serve. That is a very, very bad sign for him. This could be just about it. Brad can't believe it. A lot of people can't believe it. Rafter somehow won that point. I mean, Agassi absolutely crushed that return. And this was
30-40.
looking good, but Rafter just stayed, didn't move at all, and just stuck his racket out. He's still got another break point.
Let for serve.
He's too tired to move.
Deuce.
And what a serving day for Rafter. 23 aces.
Advantage Agassi.
How does he do it time after time? I don't believe it. He actually got tight for a second.
I'm just watching Rafter, John, and whether it's nerves or a physical issue, he's not moving with the bounce he had in the 4th set.
And listen, you're seeing it from here. You better believe Agassi's seeing it from out in the center court. So what does he do? Just gets that ball down low again. Forces the error. Rafter just trying to find the reserve.
The 4th break point for Agassi. He's finding it somewhere.
Well, he knows it's over if he goes down 2 breaks. So he's got to figure out a way to how to hold here and pound down some more liquids.
Advantage Rafter.
And Rafter does find a way.
Well done.
The Aussie holds. It's Agassi up 1 break in the 5th. Player who has won all 4 of the Grand Slam championships on the 3 different surfaces that they're currently contested on.
Although we should point out that Connors won the U.S. Open once on clay. That was Borg's greatest chance to win the U.S. Open. He beat Borg on green clay. Okay,
15.
it's not the red clay, but it's still clay. 1976. In the year that Connors, by the way, won 3 of the 4 slams, the only year actually he played Australia, 74, he wasn't allowed to play the French because he was playing team tennis. That's a tough rule, huh? Now there's what I expected to see more often. Slice backhand just inside the baseline. Anybody's going to have trouble with this, even Agassi.
Rafter now, after battling so hard to hold his serve, desperately needing a break to get back. Lara Felton, who's Patrick Rafter's longtime companion, spent much time together in Bermuda. And Agassi quickly answers with just his 4th ace.
And that's an example where it's under 100 miles per hour, but he knows Rafter's winded from the previous point. See, Rafter's won some of those long points, but it's physically debilitating to have to do that time and time again. And you know he's thinking a little bit in his head, am I going to start cramping? Is it going to get to me? So he may be a little bit afraid of going that 110%. Which is why I would think he'd want to make some of these points shorter.
And Andre following in, holds for 3-1 in the 5th. Tonight on NBC, our final late night Wimbledon update installment. John and Chris will join Hannah Storm for a full half-hour recap.
Half hour, all right.
And a look ahead to tomorrow. All at 11:35 Eastern and Pacific, just before the Tonight Show with Jay Leno.
Double the pleasure tonight. Big chance, 30 minutes.
Johnny
15.
Mac leading in for Jay Leno.
Love 15.
And Tony Roach himself has said that he hopes Rafter still plays, that he thinks Rafter has a couple of years left in him. But John, if he has those doubts in his mind about his physical conditioning, it would seem impossible to win a major.
I think that's really why he's seriously thinking about it, because it's been such a struggle for him. And it's very depressing to him that he's had to deal with this. In Australia, I mean, he's a huge hero there, and he got himself in a winning position against Agassi and then cramped up and lost the last 2 sets. Now this is what happened the first game of the 5th. He started with a double, got careless at net, and he's going to have to fight his way out of a hole again.
15-30.
You see, that's a ton already. Few games into this 5th set.
30-all.
Rafter has 24 aces today. That's half as many as he had in his first 5 matches combined.
practice at home.
But you love watching
Yeah.
Andre back to back.
30-40.
But people should start doing it because you do hit balls from all parts of the tennis court. You end up hitting balls at the service line. You practice at the baseline. Well, Agassi's right in the middle there. This is another chance to go up a double break.
Rafter saw it, let it go. Rafter saved 4 break points in his last service game. And now 1 here.
Crowd trying to store up a little energy too for the next match. Henman, Ivanisevic.
Henman is having to sit in the locker room and listen to Goran have conversations with himself.
Advantage Rafter.
There's actually there's 2 now, even 3. Goran says personalities, but there's 2 locker rooms here. And Goran's in a separate one. He's in the one where the wild cards get in. He hasn't moseyed on down to where the seeds hang out. And I'm sure for good luck purposes, you won't see him down there again. How many times have we seen this? Agassi just hustling. Working the extra mile to get a chance at those passing shots. Still wants that double break.
Advantage Rafter.
The ace total is extraordinary against the greatest returner in the game.
You have to go for more. He's given it absolute everything he has.
So for the second straight game, Rafter fights his way out and holds.
Couple sets. There's some pretty good draws though. To play fellas that those were their only Grand Slam finals of their careers.
1997 was the year that Pete Sampras was stunned at the U.S. Open, and Michael Chang seemed to be the man on track, and Rafter beat Chang. And did that dream for the American in the semis? But Rafter has said that he wants to go out, if indeed this is it for him in tennis this year, in the Davis Cup final. He says, like an Aussie, I'm raised to love team sports. And he was not a part of Australia's Davis Cup win several years ago. In the final tie, he did not play.
And then he went to Spain. And we had lost in the semis. He went there in the finals, and he had to withdraw in the 4th set with an injury. Or was it cramps?
40 love.
I guess he's had just 5 aces in this match, but to me, this has been a very effective serving performance.
Game Agassi.
And it is interesting, the ace total's far different. But yeah, you would say Andre's serve has been every bit as good as Rafter's.
As good or better.
Agassi leads.
He's set himself up to finish off points. He's done extremely well in the second serve. It has lived up to what we hoped, though, to get to a 5th set. Both players have played some outstanding stuff. Rafter, unfortunately, got careless early in this 5th set, and it looks like it's going to cost him the match.
And it's all it was last year. It was 1 break in the 5th that went for Rafter.
15 love.
that far off the court.
15.
Rafter knows better than to think that something's not coming back, but
not that.
just not that. That is just, it's unbelievable how often he does it. It's also unbelievable how fresh he looks. Running those hills, paying off. If you're going to go down and lose this, to me, Rafter, don't sit back there on the baseline. Hit shots like that. At least make Agassi hit the passes. If he hits shots like he did the last point, too good. He's had a good day. Very good day. Just the problem is he's playing Agassi.
14-15.
In the aftermath of a match, that's when you feel good. Both players walked away last year saying the same thing. They played well.
Game Rafter.
And Rafter stays alive with the hole. Andre Agassi, 2 games from the final.
Agassi leads 4 games to 3. Final set.
Championships Wimbledon on NBC. Our coverage today featuring the men's semifinal between Patrick Rafter and Andre Agassi. The second gentlemen's semifinal between Tim Henman and Goran Ivanisevic. Coverage will be later today on TNT.
Love.
Well, this shows you how excellent a day he's had serving. 2 out of 3 serves in, and amazingly, he's won more second serve points than first. That must be one of the first times I've ever seen that. Oh, whoops, went in.
Well, Andre had a huge point off the net court earlier in the set.
I'll take that miss hit, says Patrick Rafter.
I can't remember a match with more changing headgear than we've seen from Rafter.
Anything to keep cool. Throwing the kitchen sink at him now. Those balls I was talking about earlier, those short, very heavily sliced balls that stay extremely low, but he still has to hit this good a volley to finally win the point. Slip as he hit the return, cost him the point.
40-30.
He is looking to be aggressive. That's it. Now, Agassi just keeps his focus. He's got a 40-30 lead.
And that well out. So Andre Agassi has not let up after the early break.
That's a well-timed,
Agassi
aggressive
leads
play.
5
Putting
games to
pressure
3.
on Rafter again, making him come up with the pass. Very well done by Andre.
His sternest test in this fortnight, but one game away from passing it. And now Rafter serves at 3-5.
15 love.
A little closer.
And she waited a little too
Yes.
long for Andre's liking, but she eventually made the right call. Better late than never.
$30-15. $40-15. Game Rafter. New
Well,
ball.
Rafter has held strong after an early break. And now they'll have one chance left as Agassi will serve for the final.
Agassi leads.
Andre Agassi trying to reach the Wimbledon final for the third time. The first time, shockingly, was 9 years ago. Goran Ivanisević's foe. And as the matches with Rafter the last 2 years have, this one went 5, and then Agassi prevailing in as unlikely a first Grand Slam championship as we've seen in our lifetime, given that for 3 years in his teen years, John, he wouldn't play Wimbledon.
Well, he learned. Could it be possible to be an Agassi Goran 2?
That'd be something.
Well, what really would be something to be an Agassi Henman 1.
And Patrick Rafter, who has been a tremendous representative of the men's tennis game during his career, talking actively about taking a prolonged break at the end of the year. So who knows, this might be his last Wimbledon match.
Agassi's shown no signs of tightness on his serve so far. It's unbelievable. There for the first time. Rafter chip charging, getting the air. I mean, he's got to be feeling something.
Love 15. Let's second serve.
Rafter's trying to make him come up with the goods. Yes, he would have liked that a little bit deeper, but still, at love 15. Easy to tighten up and miss that, but Agassi stayed with it. Like he has so often in this match, followed up with a big serve. An easy point.
121 miles an hour, and the zip on Agassi's serve today has been impressive. That time Rafter stayed back. I was surprised how many points he's won in that sort today.
He's actually done pretty well. Can he just lift himself up, and he's got to take it to a level beyond 100%. Push his body now again. He's 2 points away from losing, but he's only 2 points away from leveling. I guess he wanted that call.
He tried to buy it.
It's in. Oh, at the line. He's got a break point.
30-40.
He had plenty of time, but it took a bad hop right on that line.
Please.
First break point for Rafter in the 5th set.
There it is. That is some game. These guys couldn't top last year, could they? Just when you thought it was over, Rafter with the best game in a long time to level this match. Unbelievable.
5 games all, final set.
And as big as that game obviously was, think back, 5 break points that Agassi had earlier in the set for the double break. Rafter saved them all.
Remember that reflex at 1540? Would have been 2 breaks for Andre. That's the shot of the day if Rafter wins this. Can you believe they're still playing this? Another classic.
40 love.
Please don't come out of retirement, Patrick. Or go into retirement, I should say.
I don't think Andre believes they're still
Yeah,
playing.
he doesn't.
And this remarkable match between these two rivals plays on in the 5th set. Andre Agassi had to feel so in command this entire 5th set. Had the break in the first game, multiple chances for the second break. And now, John, the point you raised looms large. Rafter served first. Suddenly Andre's on the defensive.
Yeah, it seemed like a moot point when he broke him the first game of the 5th. It looking so good for Agassi when he was about to go up double break. But you got to hand it to Rafter. I mean, to step it up there when Agassi had been serving so well in that 5th set and play such a great game to break.
No tie break. Play to a conclusion.
Thank you.
Agassi's service game here, and every time Rafter holds, it'll be sudden death for Agassi.
I think that he should do what he did the last game, Rafter. I mean, get into net. That helped him break. It's an excellent second serve, though, that last point.
30 love.
Certainly holding his own, though. I tip your hat to him.
30.
Yeah, he's the one that makes that extra effort to get there. Maybe he's been holding back all along.
You speculated maybe he was afraid to let go, Rafter. And when he got to 4-5, what do you say to him?
I've been wrong before.
Yeah. I mean, but maybe he is. He's emptying the barrel here. A couple of balls, Agassi thought he had winners on.
That was incredible forehand from Agassi. Now Rafter, he's 2 points from the match. Of course, he realized that there and tightened up.
40-30.
Nerves. Rafter.
I'm nervous.
Admitted that his nerves got the better of him in the final last year.
He was doing pretty well, though. I mean, win a set against Sampras in the tiebreaker, up 4-1. There's another big second serve.
Andre holds for 6-all. What a setup. Well, tomorrow we begin breakfast at Wimbledon, your
6 games, all
wonderful
final
July
sets.
tradition. We hope you'll join us live at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific, as Venus Williams tries for her 2nd consecutive ladies title.
Up early.
Justine Henin, the 19-year-old Belgian, her foe. Between Martina Navratilova, Steffi Graf, and our own Chris Evert, that's what, 19 Wimbledon titles? Probably, it seems like in the last 20 years, doesn't it?
And they go. Ted Romani, no tiebreaker here in the 5th set. We could be here a while. How about old Henman and Ivanisevic in the locker room? I'm going to wait this one out.
Andre last year had a 10-8 5th set win here at Wimbledon over Todd Martin.
That's right. He was down 2 breaks at 5-2.
That was in the 2nd round.
Guess is right. An easy game so far.
And John, after all the struggles he had on his serve early in the 5th set, Rafter's back in a good rhythm.
It was just that one game, first game, he got careless. He's not giving up on this game,
40-50.
even though he's down 40 love. Says to himself, maybe Rafter will tighten up again. He's done it before. There's 2 points.
Rafter has lost 4 of his last 5 5-set matches. The one win being last year's match here with Agassi.
be an easy game. Rafter cruising through is suddenly a deuce.
Deuce.
We mentioned that turnaround for Rafter in 5-set records, John. It's amazing because prior to that streak, he had won 11 straight 5-set matches.
Should have known Agassi was going to come back. Some monstrous returns again. He's got break point. He's not going to get to that. That takes nerve to take so much off that first serve. That was 93 miles per hour.
Deuce.
The changeup. I guess he's desperately scrambling to this.
But it turns out to be a great pitch, doesn't it? Rafter has now saved 6 break points in this set.
Advantage Rafter.
That one line continues to aggravate
hurting him.
Agassi.
He's got it by Patrick. It does bounce just wide there. What's happening? What's going on here?
Just called up.
Code violation, audible obscenity, warning Mr. Agassi.
Oh, so, come on. What a tattletale.
Please.
The crowd agrees.
Game Rafter.
So Rafter holds again. 7-6 in the 5th. Center court Wimbledon on this gentleman's semifinal day. And indeed, in the eyes of Brit, this is a warm-up match.
Tune-up.
Some match. Right. Their hope, Tim Henman, still to play. But right now, Patrick Rafter and Andre Agassi carving out another Wimbledon Classic. Almost 3 hours on court. Agassi served for the match at 5-4 in the 5th. Now, for the second straight time, serves to survive.
Let for serve.
That was rare. Agassi getting himself in position, but running through it. Rafter throwing a curveball at him once again. See if he comes in on this one. Good time to put some more pressure on Agassi. Stayed with Andre. Andre, he tightens up there.
Love 13.
How could they not be tight, though? I mean,
and now the pressure's squarely on Agassi's shoulders at love 30. That's out. And it's triple match point.
Love 40. please. Please.
There's one save. All second serves. Rafter once again. Here it is. It's all you can do. I feel like my heart rate's about 170 right now.
Is this where you wish, if you're Andre, you could go to Goron and borrow one?
30-40.
Give me one bomb for right here.
Ladies and gentlemen, quiet please during the point, please. Thank you.
That's good! Rafter has won the match for the second straight year in 5 sets. And he will play at least once more on center court.
Ted, I think it's safe to say that's the biggest backhand passing shot he's hit ever at Wimbledon. I can't believe they topped last year.
And the disappointment has to be total for Andre Agassi.
It was an unbelievably tough loss. I mean, he played once again so well.
Serving for the match was Agassi at 5-4, only to be broken. And finally, Rafter, the man for whose physical fitness is always in question, has battled bad cramping problems in an overtime 5th set, an 8-6 5th set. It's Rafter who prevails. To qualify to play at Wimbledon just 8 years ago. And Patrick Rafter has sent Agassi out for the second straight year. And yes, this 28-year-old Aussie who says he's just never feels all that comfortable on grass. How about that?
You cannot be serious. He is so comfortable on this stuff. I mean, he looks so good on the surface.
And how good does it feel to win one that you're about to lose?
Here's match point. Andre saved a couple already. He's the one's aggressive, makes Rafter come up with the goods. A rare foray into net. That reminds me of too many times where passing shots go by and you go down to just a brutal defeat.
But John, you're going to go back, and really this match eventually turns when Rafter was serving at love 2, 15-40 in this 5th and final set. Andre ended up with 4 points in that game to go up 3 love. And those are the ones that I'm sure Agassi will have nightmares about. While the Rafter Camp brothers, girlfriend, mates all, think they'll celebrate tonight in London?
Remind him, he's still not done yet.
No, Patrick.
Oh, his
take
mates.
care.
Oh, yeah, right.
The brothers and the mates.
They'll be up all night.
Well, an amazing story. Patrick Rafter. Might he face Britain's own Tim Henman in the finals? That to be determined. We're back on NBC. That saved the day for Patrick Rafter. A break point with Andre Agassi serving for the match. He had been 2 points from winning at 30-15, but Rafter played a spectacular game and eventually breaks Agassi to stay alive at 5-all. The incredible emotion, not just gripping Rafter, but his mates from Australia. And the Aussie is through to his 2nd straight Wimbledon final with a 5-set win over Andre Agassi. After his win, Bud Collins had a chance to speak with Rafter.
Patrick, 2 points from defeat. Andre is serving for the match. What were you going to do? We saw what you did, but what did you want to do?
Well, exactly what I wanted to do. I mean, what I did was what I wanted to do, but not to say that it was going to happen. Well, yeah, I mean, I thought I was going out. He'd held his service games pretty comfortably all the way through. Then I just hung in there and took my chance as well.
Did you realize that you faced enough break points to be down 5-love in the 5th set?
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm just very surprised to be here. I have no right to be here. Andre had a couple of, good shots to put away as well, and that's the luck of it, I guess. I'm very relieved.
I don't think you're lucky to be here at all. You'll remember that last backhand you hit, I'm sure. Were you surprised that Andre was couldn't decide whether to come to the net or not?
Well, it was a short shot, and he had to come in, I guess, and he would have been stranded if he didn't. And I hit one of those ugly looping backhand passing shots that I have. I don't know where it's going, but it usually goes in the back fence, but it dropped in.
You say you may call this your last season. Suppose you win the title.
What even a great way to go out, isn't it, bud?
Well, we hope you don't, Patrick. We'll talk to you after the final. Congratulations.
Very coy indeed, Patrick Rafter. Well, this has been a fortnight of comebacks, and how about today? Down 2-1, 2 points from losing the match. Patrick Rafter finds a way, and for the second straight year, knocks Andre Agassi out in the semis. Hannah Storm will join us when we come back. There's still plenty more tennis to come, including a look at parts of yesterday's ladies semifinal between Venus Williams and Lindsay Davenport. We'll preview tomorrow's ladies final, and we'll hear from Andre Agassi, all when the championships Wimbledon continues on NBC.